Today, we're diving into two stories about being watched. On the surface, they seem worlds apart. One is a documented, real-world campaign of state-sponsored harassment. The other is a deeply personal nightmare shared by thousands of people online. What connects them? Well, that might just make you question reality itself.
You know that feeling, right? That little prickle on the back of your neck. The sense that someone, or something, is keeping tabs on you. Your clicks, your texts, your conversations. For most of us, it's just a fleeting, creepy thought. But for some people, it's a living hell they can't escape.
And look, this isn't just you being paranoid. We live in a world where guys like Edward Snowden pulled back the curtain. We know about mass surveillance. We know about data mining scandals. That knowledge changes the game because the fear is now grounded in fact.
Okay, so this is where a key concept comes in: psychological warfare. This isn't just about dropping bombs. It's about getting inside people's heads, using fear, propaganda, and doubt as weapons to control how people think and feel. It's an old idea, but it's more relevant than ever.
All right, let's see what this looks like in the real world. Our first story is about what happens when the state itself becomes the stalker, and it has absolutely deadly consequences. It's a practice called red tagging, and it's brutally simple and effective. The government, or its supporters, publicly slaps a label on you: terrorist, communist, enemy of the state. There's no court, no trial, no due process, just the accusation. And that's often enough to ruin you. And when I say ruin you, I mean it. The stakes could not be higher. 376. That's how many people were reportedly killed outside of the law in just over 4 years. When you're red tagged in a climate like that, it's not just a smear campaign. It's a target on your back.
So who's in the crosshairs? It's a pretty long list. We're talking about indigenous people trying to protect their land, journalists doing their jobs, labor leaders, artists, academics, basically anyone who rocks the boat or asks uncomfortable questions. It's a tool to crush dissent, plain and simple. And this really brings it home. This is from Stephen Tolley, a man who was literally abducted. Just imagine living like that, being too scared to go out alone, always looking over your shoulder. Your own life shrinks down to the size of a prison cell, because that's what this kind of constant fear does to you. It's torture.
And look, this isn't just a handful of activists shouting into the void. In May of 2024, the highest court in the Philippines made it official. They declared that red tagging is a real, tangible threat to a person's life and liberty. This is a documented, legally recognized reality.
Okay, so take a deep breath, because we're about to make a sharp turn. We're leaving the world of documented evidence and legal rulings, and we're stepping into something much weirder. A world where the stalker has no name and the evidence is intensely personal. This was posted on a tech support forum of all places. The fear here is just as raw as what we just heard, but the enemy is totally different. It's this invisible he who has complete control over their digital world. It's a complete nightmare of technological paranoia. This person is part of a growing community who call themselves targeted individuals, or TIs for short. They believe they are the victims of a huge, coordinated harassment campaign by secret organizations, something they call gang stalking.
And the experiences they describe are all-consuming. It's not just feeling like you're being followed. It's people breaking into your house, not to steal anything, but just to move things around. It's your phone and computer acting on their own, and for some, it's even hearing voices that they believe are being beamed directly into their brains. It is a story of absolute, total torment.
And here's where it gets really 21st century, the internet. For people who feel like the whole world thinks they're crazy, online forums like the gang stalking subreddit are a lifeline. They find thousands of others who are going through the exact same thing. They share their stories, their proof, and together they build a shared reality that makes sense of their terrifying experiences.
So we've got these two stories. One, a verifiable political reality. The other, this intensely personal psychological experience. But what if the line separating them is starting to blur? This is the absolute heart of the matter. Think about it. When we know that governments engage in mass surveillance, when we have proof of campaigns like red tagging, doesn't that make the wildest fears about being watched seem just a little more possible? Where does the real conspiracy stop and the imagined one start?
Let's actually put them side by side. The language is spookily similar. The feeling of being harassed by some powerful hidden force, it's almost identical.
The big difference is the proof. Red tagging has court documents and UN reports. Gang stalking has personal videos and experiences that can't really be verified by anyone else.
And this circles right back to psychological warfare. There's an old saying in that field, credibility is a condition of persuasion. For any lie to work, it has to contain a kernel of truth. By actually doing these terrible things, states give a terrifying dose of credibility to the fears of targeted individuals. They accidentally create the perfect environment for these ideas to take root and grow.
But this whole conversation is about to get even crazier, because technology is catching up to the paranoia. The war for information is moving from our screens to our skulls.
I'm talking about neurotechnology, stuff that can literally read your brainwaves, not in some distant sci-fi future. This is being developed in labs right now. The one place you thought was always private, your own mind, is about to become the next frontier.
And there's a name for the threat this new technology poses, a really chilling one. It's called brain jacking. Yeah, exactly what it sounds like.
So what does that actually mean? Well, first, it's about someone maliciously taking control of a brain implant. But then it gets worse. Then they could start pulling data, your memories, your thoughts. Then they can manipulate how you feel, what you think. And the end game? Identity theft on a biological level. All those fears about thoughts being put in your head suddenly don't sound so crazy, do they?
Now, people are rightly freaking out about this, so there's a whole movement to try and get ahead of it, to create a new set of rules for this new world. They're calling them neuro rights, brand new human rights, like the right to mental privacy, the right to own your own identity, and even the right to your own free will.
Which leaves us here with this one last really unsettling question. We saw how a state can use fear as a weapon in the real world and how that mirrors the private hell of paranoia. But as technology erases the line between mind and machine, when the tools to literally get inside someone's head become real, who gets to be the final judge of what's real and what isn't?